Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
It is Wednesday, and you know what that means? It is Timeless Elite Wednesday with your PR princess and your timeless elite of WWT, Courtney, with you on this edition. Just a friendly reminder, AEW Dynamite will be on coast to coast. So it's airing not only on the East Coast, it's airing on the West Coast, in the Central Zone. So it's going to be airing everywhere live tonight as they continue the road to Double or Nothing. As we know, we have a new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Darby Allin. We're going to hear from him after his historic win last week. He's going to be facing off against Tommaso Ciampa. Also, Mark Davis, Will Ospreay one-on-one after last week's massacre that Mark Davis did to Will Ospreay. We're going to see them in action. We also got the ladies in action, Hikaru, Shida, Mina, Shirakawa one-on-one. And Detective Courtney is on the case regarding who hurt Timeless Toni Storm. So I also am very excited on that. And also they are showing the recap from last week where Darby Allin did the unthinkable. And also with that, we got to see Sting. I just love saying Sting. But I did mention this on my pipe bomb last week. And also with the fact, too, it was just awesome to see Sting. Because Tony Khan's not going to fly Sting in just for Darby to lose. He needs to win. But, of course, he had his parents, his wife, his family. Most of the locker room came out to celebrate with him, which was really awesome to do. And also, we have a few bonus additions added to Dynamite tonight. Right before I came on, we're going to see the return of Samoa Joe. We haven't seen him in a while, but he'll be back. Very curious on how the dynamics with him and the Ops, and also with Anthony Bowens. So, and speaking of that, we have MJF. Oh, God. Here comes the JF. Oh, boy. And you saw him crash out on social last week. You saw him crash out, which is pretty hilarious. He called him a paper champion? I mean, people respect you as a wrestler. They just like that you're a jerk. Shout out to Boza. Shout out to Jonathan Lambing. Shout out to Lynette. I hope everybody's doing well. Happy Earth Day, by the way. It is Earth Day, and hopefully save the rainforest, save the trees, not just for today, but all year round. And the animals. Shout out to Jeff Metterling in the chat. Well, he should have known that Tony Khan made the match during the media scrum. Oh, he called him a cheat. I mean, I think he can. I think he can. Double or nothing. I mean, put your money where your mouth is. It is in Queens. Oh, God. Kind of crazy he hasn't faced off against Kyle Fletcher. And he hasn't faced off against Swerve, too. I don't think Darby's gonna be unfolded. I don't think he's the kind of person to like say, "Here you go." And we were supposed to hear from him too throughout the night. Who is it? Oh my God, Kevin Knight, the reigning TNT champion. Shockingly enough, he comes out. And also, I did check out their PR AEW team socials. He's been doing a lot of media lately. And I love that he's posting on his socials, which I love to see. Love that they're doing media work. Love it. But interesting to see the Jet, Kevin Knight, out. He does have the swag. He has the confidence. Very curious on what the Jet has to say. Kevin Knight said what everybody was saying. Even some of the fans. Flaunt that belt, Kevin Knight. You earned being, because he's the face of TNT. Oh yeah, he's talking about the match when MJF was champion. He could have been 2 belts. Yeah, he doesn't seem very impressed. Just him. Well, we have to see because Swerve should be back soon. I think Max is being sarcastic a bit. Mm. Kevin's flipping the switch and being serious. He's typing in front of his nose. He does have a big nose. Hmm. It's kind of crazy. A few held that belt and they were AEW champion. Darby, Samoa Joe. And there might have been somebody else, but I have to look back at the past reigns. Kevin Knight. It looks like Kevin Knight's challenging MJF. Mm-mm-mm. Well, it looks like MJF saying, put your money where your mouth is. Kevin Knight. And also, I know Jeffrey's like, please don't do it, Kevin. You know Kevin's full of confidence. Well, they're in Portland. It's going to be interesting. What is Bossman going to do? Oh, they're bringing a referee. Tony Khan. I mean, right now, it looks like we're going to have a TNT championship match. There's a referee. Bryce coming out. Yeah, it's going to be. I hope not, Jeffrey. Because wait a minute. Oh, wait a second. MJF, not surprised. He's up to his old tricks. So he said next week he's going to dance with him next week for Dynamite. But Kevin Knight's ready. He's ready to wrestle. But it was an interesting way to kick off the show. I mean, you know, MJF was going to be in a little bit of an irate with the fact and obviously we do know the main event will be the AEW World Title. And Renee's backstage with the demand. I'm pretty sure they're going to talk about Chris Jericho. Oh, there's Chris Jericho. Well, it looks like it's going to be a tag team match. We don't know who his partner's going to be. I'm pretty sure Chris can find somebody who wants to beat up on the demand. Who did he pick? He's advertising a brand new shirt. And it's now available on AEW Shop, by the way. that makes sense. That makes it easy because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in the back that don't like Ricochet or the Demand, and they would love to team up with somebody like Chris. So that should not be hard to find. That should not be hard. But also, as I mentioned, yes, Boza, Brody King is going to be in action against Leo Rush. They advertised this right after WWT Live was over and right before I came on. It is a bonus match. So happy to see Brody. And Leo Rush's character is very interesting. It's very interesting because I think it's like a character change, but I kind of wish there was some video vignettes of his character. It's very interesting, especially with the fact too he's not teaming with Action Andretti. Oh, so next week, live on Dynamite for Virginia, it'll be the TNT Championship. Kevin Knight taking on MJF. So, but yes, we did get some bonus ones. Samoa Joe will be back in action. And we also have this bonus match too. Brody King. It's going to be very interesting with Leo Rush's new character, and especially how Brody's going to handle, because if you saw Collision, especially when Leo Rush faced off against Pac, it scared the pants out of Pac. And Pac is usually usually doesn't get scared easily. And even Daniel Garcia. And the fans were rooting for Leo Rush to say, beat up on Daniel Garcia. So it's going to be very interesting to see Leo Rush take on Brody King. But it's our main event. Darby Allin taking on the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. It's going to be a really good match. But we do see the entrance by Leo Rush. Jeffrey! Yes, you saw clips. You should have saw a clip of Pac. And like I said, Pac is not usually the person that gets afraid easily, but he was like, whoa. Because you would think the Death Riders, they be fearless and everything, but if there's somebody that's scary and wackier than them, that's a problem. maybe he can fit well with the Death Riders, Leo Rush. But it's gonna be interesting to see how Brody is gonna respond. But look at Brody. He's like, come on. He's like, come on. But Brody King's not afraid of anything. That's what I love. I know, Jeffrey. I think he started this character a couple weeks ago because I know Professor and the guys over at Black Wrestling Alliance, they were talking about this. And I kind of wish they did like video vignettes of his character leading up to this because he's not teaming up with Action Andretti and it's just him. So I really want to see it pan out. Look at Brody. Well, Brody shook his hand. Look at Leo Rush. I'm like, Brody would be the last guy that you want to mess with. That's why I love Brody. Add him to the. Oh, I mean, it's a possibility. Leo Rush to the Hurt Syndicate, because the Hurt Syndicate is looking for a fourth member. Not sure who's going to be, but there's many options. But also, as I mentioned earlier, hold on, let me see Brody. But also feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got winning this thing. Do you have Brody King winning this, or do you have Leo Rush winning this? So feel free to put in the chat. But also, look at Brody. And on commentary, we have Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Nigel McGuinness on commentary. I have anyway. Jeffrey. Well, like I said, it's going to be interesting on who's going to be the fourth person for the Hurt Syndicate. But as I said, Samoa Joe is making a return. It's going to be very interesting with the ops, with Hook, and my guy Anthony Bowens. And what is Leo Rush doing? I've never seen Nigel McGuinness pull away back from his chair. Because usually Nigel's not afraid of anything. But Brody caught... Ooh, nice counter by Leo Rush. That is really impressive. And hey, I think with his new gimmick, he's getting a lot of TV time. Faced off against Ciampa. Faced off against Pac. Nice face off against Brody King on Dynamite. Way out there. Well, you can't blame for that. I mean, he's on TV every week, so it's very interesting. But thank you all for joining with me for AEW Dynamite for Timeless Elite Wednesdays. Just to let you know, it's on coast to coast, so you can watch it on the East Coast, the West Coast, Central Coast. It is live, but it will be shocking. Well, I would not be shocked because it may end on time with the fact after Dynamite is over, they got hockey playoffs happening, because I know there's a lot of hockey that's happening right now. So I'm pretty sure the NHL does not play, because I know there's a few games on TNT right now, and then after Dynamite's over, they're going to switch over to the other hockey game. So, but as I mentioned, Samoa Joe's returning. It's going to be interesting with him and Hook and Anthony Bowens, where this is going to be at, because Hook's going to give him an answer this Saturday on Collision. If Anthony is in or he's out, it's going to be very interesting. I feel like for Anthony, because he's part of my team in a way, I'm not going to say clients, but I'll say I advocate for them. It's going to be very interesting to see. And also the Hurt Syndicate's looking for a fourth member. I would not be shocked if they did recruit Anthony Bowens as a member, or find some way to the... Jeffrey's like, Samoa Joe's... He sold... I sold him. Yes, Jeffrey, Samoa Joe will be back tonight. It's going to be very interesting on how the ops is going to shift. But also, I would not be shocked if Anthony did join the Hurt Syndicate, because I know he can stand on his own 2 feet. There's just something that needs to be there. But I do think the Acclaim is going to get back together before Wembley. That's one of my bold predictions I did put in, having them come back right before or leading into Wembley Stadium. Oh my goodness, Jeffrey. Stop. Leave the boys alone. But thank you all for joining with me. It has been very fun because WrestleMania has come and gone. Now we're just getting ready for Backlash, Double or Nothing, Clash in Italy. So much stuff happening in May. But that's always the beauty part about it. I will say Leo Rush is home. And we're back live with AEW Dynamite, coming to you from Portland. Leo Rush, a new and revamped and unique version of Leo Rush, taking on Brody King. I know Brody really wants to get back in the AEW World title picture. I do like it gets very interesting with the whole title picture on the men's side as a whole, because there is a lot of interesting people that can get opportunity, but it looks like Aubrey was checking Brody on his shoulder, but I think Brody is okay. It's nothing too serious. Shout out to Michael Vasquez in the chat for supporting. Thank you for joining with me. At October, it would have been. I know, you would think. You would think. But Leo Rush is showing some offense. He has shown a lot of presence. Like I said, he faced off against Tommaso Ciampa. He was in that casino gauntlet match for the AEW National Championship at Revolution. Faced off recently against Pac from the Death Riders. So he's getting some TV time. Very curious on where it's going to lead next. And I would like to see him do a video vignette, because I think that would definitely bring a lot of oomph to his character. Oh, that was a nice move that Leo did. I'm not going to lie. That was really impressive. Oh my goodness, he galloping the same way he did at Revolution. And oh my god, he drilled Brody King right between the ropes. Oh my god, crossbody off the top rope onto Brody King. And Brody King's holding onto the shoulder that bothered him when we came back from commercial break. I mean, it's the best way to do it, showing up on Dynamite. And what's Leo gonna do here? Wow, on the top, targeting that shoulder. Quick kick out by Brody. That's the one thing about Brody. He's very resilient, and he does not know when to quit. Leo, don't mess with Aubrey. Aubrey is doing her job. Please don't mess with Aubrey Edwards. She's doing her job. Ooh, that was a nice counter Leo did. Ooh, that was a nice one. Thank God this is not a squash match. At least it's not a squash match, and they're familiar names in the AEW brand. I know, she's been getting flack from so many people. I'm like, leave Aubrey be. Let's see if this is it. 3, and your winner is Brody King. Brody King is your winner. And also, it's almost time, because we're getting... Oh, I don't care about the narcs. Let the referees have some personality. But Brody, he picked up a victory. And it's going to be very interesting how this is going to set up for the Owen Hart Cup men's and women's tournament. Because it's... Oh, and Brody's going to talk. Brody said he's going to keep a close eye on that match. Brody is making his case, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting because Brody and Darby have history together. If you remember the early years of AEW, they've had a very intensive rivalry. Like, they attacked each other at a meet and greet, and then they had a casket match. And backstage, there's Renee Paquette talking with Tommaso Ciampa. Funny, the same things that he said are the same things Darby said a couple weeks ago. Oh my god. Well, Tommaso, he's shaking his case. And that's our main event. But up next, in a shocker, we have the ladies in action. Hikaru Shida, Mina Shirakawa, one-on-one, and it's not even 9:30, which I'm not complaining. Don't let the ladies wrestle at 9:30. Like, let them wrestle a little early. Let them wrestle whenever they want. But happy to see the ladies in action. Happy to see Hikaru Shida back in action. So happy to see her back. But as I said, Detective Courtney is on the case because she's going to find out who attacked Toni Storm. And there's a lot. There's a lot of things. So we shall see. Oh my god. So right, Jeffrey? I can't believe it's not even 9:30 and he's putting the ladies on. Which I'm not complaining. Earlier the better. Well, so you gotta really think about it. Mina is a possible suspect because it's usually the people that you're close to you are the most interesting suspects that nobody suspected. And with the fact too, when Orange Cassidy and Toni Storm were having a tag team and friendship, Mina didn't like that. And also, if you saw the clip when Toni got attacked, it looked like there was no tears or anything. But let's just say I hope the ladies do get some action. Shida, yep, she was jealous of Orange and Toni. So that's a possibility. Well, that is true. Hikaru Shida, leaving her candlestick, but also with the fact too, Hikaru Shida does have history with Toni Storm. Those two had a few matches with each other. That is true. So there's a lot of layers. There's Hikaru Shida. Camille's back. Very curious on what Camille's going to do. Mercedes will be back soon. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Oh, we're going to hear from Edge. One of the best tag teams of all time. Let's be very clear. FCR is one of the best. so Edge and Christian are challenging FDR to street fight. I hope it's New York style. Oh no! So Edge said if Edge and Christian retire, if Edge and Christian lose FDR, they have to retire. Man. Well, we got our second match for Double or Nothing. If you know, we got our first match for Double or Nothing. Konosuke Takeshita taking on Kazuchika Okada for the AEW International Championship. That's the first match that happens. And now Edge and Christian throughout the gauntlet. Them challenging FTR to a street fight for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And I hope it's New York style too, by the way. Because they're in New York. They gotta go out all in. No pun intended. But if it does go, that'll be our second match official for Double or Nothing. And now switching gears to the ladies. I'm not gonna lie. I do like the pairing of Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida, and her English sounds so much better. Why couldn't they do this when she was women's champion? Her English sounds so better. And I just love seeing Shida back. There's a reason why she's a 3-time AEW women's champion. But here comes Mina Shirakawa. And I did see photos that Mina was at WrestleCon over the weekend, interacting with all the fans. And I do like her hair. Right, Jeffrey? Her English is so fluent and she's like showing character. Yes. And I love that about Shida. And it's funny, Chris Statlander is at ringside too. But as I said, Detective Courtney's on the case of trying to find who attacked Timeless Toni Storm. Because there's many thoughts. There's many thoughts and theories that I have. But I will share it on a future date because I may need some time this weekend to kind of get in. But we have some ladies action happening. Shockingly enough, at 8:30, we have Hikaru Shida taking on Mina Shirakawa one-on-one. Feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got winning. Do you have Shida winning or do you have Mina winning? And it looks like Mina doesn't want to shake Shida's hand because she said on Collision last week she doesn't trust Hikaru Shida. Which kind of makes sense because with the fact Shida and Toni are bitter rivals. But it's going to be a lot of physicality between these ladies, and I love it. Shida's like, not today. Wait, dream match. Asuka, Kari, Io. Oh my god. Jeffrey. Oh, Jeffrey, that would be an interesting match, eliminator style. All of those ladies just wreaking havoc on each other. And I wouldn't be mad about it. But love it. Love it. Love to see this between Hikaru Shida and Mina. Because as I said, we're going to find out who attacked Toni Storm. And as I mentioned last week on WWT, Jamie Hayter is going to beat the shit out of Tekla because there's still a lot of animosity between those two ladies. Mina's trying to put her old tricks in, but I don't think it's going to work on Shida. Ooh, that was a nice kick that Mina did. I'm not gonna lie. And it's so crazy because I met Mina last summer at WrestleCon. She's very tiny, by the way, and she's very sweet. Yeah, next week. Next Wednesday, it'll be in Virginia. Then Saturday, Illinois, Collision. No, that was a nice roll up. 1, 2. It's like a dozy doe. Yes, Jeffrey, she is very adorable. But don't piss her off because she's a woman that can. I would say we're probably in the same similar height with each other. Mina and Rio. They're like in similar height with each other. But she's very adorable. But as I mentioned after Dynamite, we're going to shift over to the Stanley Cup playoffs for NHL, which that'll be a rarity if Dynamite ends on time. That'll be a complete rarity. Also, friendly reminder, tomorrow, football fans, it's the NFL draft. It's the NFL draft tomorrow. It starts tomorrow in Pittsburgh. Talking about it's crazy too because it's kind of crazy because I know everybody's talking about WrestleMania and there was a few things talking about the NFL draft. But yeah, for all you football fans, including me, NFL draft will be tomorrow. Night 1 is always exciting because who gets picked in the first round? Who is it? It's going to be very interesting to see who the Dolphins are going to pick and some of the other teams. And also a friendly reminder too, once I wrap up Timeless Elite Wednesday, our boss lady, TK, and Christina will be doing a watch along, doing a watch along on Hulk Hogan's documentary that is finally released on Netflix. I am going to watch it because I'm very curious because I know there are a few things in there. I mean, and it's very ironic that Brooke posted something on social on the day of it got released. So, yeah, there's just a lot of things, but I will watch it because I'm very curious on how they set up for this. Just very curious. But yeah, EOS 5, they're kind of similar height in a way, but yeah, Mina, I think Mina and I were the same height because I'm also 5'2". But looking at this match, yeah, I'm watching Dynamite on picture in picture. So thankfully, I have the full match, and it's been pretty much a good one-on-one with these two ladies. It's pretty much even history with each other. Like I said, Hikaru is a former AEW Women's Champion, and I do like this interesting pairing. It's an interesting pairing between Shida and Chris Statlander, which is, you gotta let this build a little bit. Shout out to Eddie Foster in the chat. I hope you're doing well on a Wednesday. I hope everybody's week has been really good because it is hump day. Lots of stuff. I know everybody's recovering from the WrestleMania hangover, but shifting gears into more wrestling. But we do have some more matches. We do have Will Ospreay taking on Mark Davis. Samoa Joe is going to be making his return. We also have the main event, Tommaso Ciampa, Darby Allin, the AEW World Title. Oh, without a doubt, Jeffrey, Hikaru Shida, because I noticed, and I kind of said this on WWT Live, there's not that many strong heels in the women's division. There's not that many. Not that many strong heels in the women's division. And I'm very curious on where Mercedes is going to go with this. Like, I kind of don't see her being like an actual babyface, probably a tweener. But we're back live with AEW Dynamite coming to you from Portland. Hikaru Shida, Mina Shirakawa. This has been a good match between both of these ladies, and I'm happy they are getting enough time. We ain't speaking about that. Stop. Yes, Eddie Foster. We did see Leo Rush take on Brody King. It was a really good match, not a squash match. Leo Rush has been getting a lot of TV time. Oh, and this weekend on Collision, the AEW World Trios Champions will be in action. The conglomeration against the Don Callis family. We're also going to see Jack Perry take on El Clone, and Chris Statlander will be in action this weekend. Shake my head. Yes, Playoff Palooza. That's what it's called, Posa, only because I think NHL. It's NHL. I know it's Stanley Cup playoffs, but also NBA playoffs are happening this weekend as well. So just a little FYI for all you basketball and hockey fans. Oof. Got that knee. Hikaru Shida's holding on to that knee. Oh my god, Mina looks like she's gonna put the figure 4 leg lock in, but I guess not. Shida. And it's always interesting because Chris Statlander at ringside and she's just like super chill, just cheering on her tag team partner. She's just being a good sport. Ooh, that was a nice counter. Ooh. Mina Shirakawa. Yeah, the reaction of Chris Statlander's face says it all. And yes, Eddie Foster, we were talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs because after this, Dynamite is going to be. After Dynamite, we will see playoffs. Actually, there's playoff games happening right now on TNT. So a lot of stuff happening. And Jeff Metterling, I will not be doing Collision on Saturdays. I don't do watch along on Saturdays. Sometimes, if it's necessary, that I will. I mean, for example, Grand Slam Australia, that was a special edition on a Saturday I can do. And usually pay-per-views fall on Saturdays or Sundays, depending. So. Two, quick kick out by Mina. Ooh, that was a nice kick. 1, 2, quick kick out by Mina. This is actually a good match between both of these ladies. I'm not going to lie. This is a really good match. And Chris Statlander's cheering on her tag team partner. That's what you got to do. It's being a good tag team partner. You got to cheer for her. Ooh, Mina had that forearm, and both ladies are down. Yeah, Jeffrey, they do. That's why they deliver. These ladies are going. Oh, and yes, definitely, you can hang out with Honey because she'll be doing Honey Night SmackDown. SmackDown after WrestleMania. It's going to be very, very interesting on how it's going to play out. Because we saw what happened on Raw. It's going to be very interesting on SmackDown. Let's see, Mina. She's going up the top rope. What she's going to do? Quick kick out by Shida. Let's see. Second tap on the figure 4. Shida. I know. It's going to be very interesting to see Shida. I don't think Shida's going to quit. And plus, it would be nice for... Okay, Shida has her hand on the ropes. Got to break the submission hold. Mina's like, ref says you got to break it. If you don't, you're going to get disqualified. And Mina, see, she wears her heart on her sleeve. But Mina's going for that kendo stick. And she's like, no, 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 no. And Chris Statlander helping out her partner. Because that's what partners do. Mina did what to you, but Chris Statlander was helping out her partner. That's what you got to do. You got to help out your partners. Yep, and your winner is Hikaru Shida. Why me, Chris Stylander? You have such a tag team partner. But congratulations to Hikaru Shida. Yes. I believe it. Because Mina is better than this. I can't see. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Mina be heel. Because I feel like that would be so cool to see her aggression. But they're tag team partners. Chris Stylander and Hikaru. Well, Jeff, yes, you can solve the case, but there are other angles outside of Mina because we don't know who exactly did it. And also, there's a lot of clues that were left in Toni Storm's locker room. Like, yes, that's why she's part of a suspect list. There's a list. But as I mentioned, we have our first match. We have our first match announced for Double or Nothing. Kazuchika Okada taking on Konosuke Takeshita for the AEW International Championship. My bold prediction, I had it for Allin Wembley Stadium, but I guess they want to do it for Double or Nothing. So, and I feel like it's not going to end clean between these two. I don't think it's going to end very clean. And for some odd reason, I can see them being in round 2. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking to end. To catch it. I'm so sorry. It's just the way Takeshita said it was just so spot on. He was like, I'm so sorry. Which accidentally he didn't mean. Which accidentally he didn't mean it. He meant it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm seeing the commercial for the new Michael movie that's coming out on Friday. I did see some of the stars from AEW go to the movie premiere yesterday. Julia Hart, Anthony Bowens, and there was somebody else that went to. Oh, and Anna Jay. Anna Jay, Anthony Bowens, and Julia Hart all went to the movie premiere Michael, which was great. I did see photos of that on AEW socials and everything else. And also the photo that warmed my heart to the fullest. Anthony got to meet Kenan Thompson. You know who Kenan Thompson is. Before he was in SNL, before he did all this, he was on a little show called, well, he was in the Mighty Ducks, but he was in a show on Nickelodeon called All That, elevated to Kenan and Kel, then went on to do SNL and doing all these other things. And it just warms my heart to see people that I watched as a child do amazing work. And I actually tagged Bowens and Kenan in a story, and I said, and I know this is a long shot to Tony Khan, I said, wouldn't that be great if they had Kenan and Kel do a backstage segment in AEW featuring Anthony Bowens? And also, Good Burger. You can't forget about Good Burger. But that would be crazy if Kenan and Kel would be on AEW. That would just blow my mind. And do a segment with Anthony Bowens. That would just be amazing. But thank you all for joining with me on a Wednesday. And it's definitely going to be a banger of a match. Okada and Takeshita. I do have Okada. I do have Takeshita winning the AEW International Championship. But speaking of the ladies that just happened, congratulations to Hikaru Shida. We have the Women's Wrestling Archive that was created by our boss lady, doing amazing things, celebrating the past, the present, and the future of women's wrestling. And we support all women's wrestling. It doesn't have to be on major promotions. It could be on the major, independent, local, even people that pave the way that we don't even know about. So feel free to support the Women's Wrestling Archive.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's gonna pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might think he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Support everything for the Women's Wrestling Archive, and we have a 10-man tag team match. We have the Rascals and the Young Bucks taking on the Death Riders and the Dogs. David Finlay, Clark Connors, because even though Gabe Kidd is injured, they want those AEW tag team titles. So I think now we're seeing some heat up in the tag team division. But for Double or Nothing, Edge and Christian, well, actually, Edge put out the challenge to FTR for a street fight for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. You better not be. Well, unfortunately, Jeffrey is, because if you saw earlier, Will Ospreay is facing off against Mark Davis from the Don Callis family. So, yeah, he's wrestling tonight after being deseparated by Mark Davis last week. And that's supposed to stipulation. It said if him and Christian don't win, they will leave AEW, which really sucks because it's like, ugh. No, Boza, we can't go one night without Don Callis, unfortunately, because 2 of his guys are in a big match at Double or Nothing, Okada and Takeshita. Will Ospreay still has some issues with the Death Riders, but apparently he's got to deal with members of the Don Callis family. I love Will Ospreay's entrance. It's very infectious. I can imagine how loud. I remember him making an appearance at Wembley Stadium. Look at his band. Look at Will Ospreay bandage his arm. Just look at it. Well, you know what? I give him credit for his fighting spirit. Oh boy, now we got that creep Don Callis, and now he's facing off against Mark Davis, the guy who pile-drived him last week. So we're dealing with that creep Don Callis. And yes, the tape that has KF, which stands for Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, you better run, you creep. I just want one day outside of Moxley, because Moxley beat up Don Callis in the early years of AEW. I just want to see somebody beat the crap out of Don Callis, which would be insanity. Well, please go. He's not gonna get Jeffrey. He ain't gonna go home. Will Ospreay is not gonna go home. But feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got winning. Do you have Will Ospreay or do you have Mark Davis? And I'm pretty sure Don Callis is whining and complaining about Okada and Takeshita and blah, blah, blah. Oh, boy. Nice are surrounded by Will Ospreay. Nice. Since the surgery. Oh my God. 161. Jeffrey, yeah, I wish I could check out Don Callis. I'm pretty sure if I did, Tony Khan would have stamp of approval. I think almost everybody wants to beat up on Don Callis. Everybody wants to beat up on Don Callis. But we still have some stuff left on Dynamite. Samoa Joe is going to be in action. And we also have our main event, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Darby Allin taking on Tommaso Ciampa. And we're supposed to be hearing from him anyway. So hopefully we get to hear from him before his match. So I see Jeff Merling supporting Will Ospreay. I will say this, Mark Davis has been very impressive. Even when his tag team partner Jake Doyle was out because he's out with an injury, Mark Davis has been standing on his own, and he wrestled in some big matches. So I gotta give credit to Mark Davis. He has been holding on his own in the singles side because his tag team partner got injured. We also know Josh Alexander is injured. So it's nice that Mark Davis is getting an opportunity to shine a bit, taking out some top tier guys like Will Ospreay, Darby Allin. What's Mark Davis doing here? Kick to the face. And it's crazy. They were on the same unit together. Them two along with Kyle Fletcher. Oh my God, Will Ospreay. And that man landed on his feet. He's like a video game. Will Ospreay. I give credit to Will Ospreay. Even with like all those tapes that he has, he's doing very well. Oh my God. I just can't believe Will Ospreay landed on his feet. Oh, that was a miscue. And Mark Davis is taking that. So, but like I said, I'm really happy Mark Davis is coming on his own in single style. Very, very impressed. Well, at least for picture in picture, because I'm watching this on cable and I got picture in picture, at least I don't have to hear Don Callis on commentary during those times. Because he's a creep, he's a jerk, and that's why nobody likes him. No one likes him. I love it. But like I said, you're hanging out with me on a Wednesday. You're hanging out with me on a Wednesday. Oh, Lordy. And I'm looking at this picture. Mr. Tough Guy, Don Callis, trying to talk trash in front of Will Ospreay's face and poking at his face. He's lucky he's not 100% because Will Ospreay would have beat the crap out of him. I agree with that. Why you gotta agree with Don Callis? Oh God, he told you make me. Oh man. Not surprisingly, that's something Don Callis would say, but I don't know. But it's gonna be very interesting because we have the Owen Hart Cup men and women's tournament. And also, who is going to be in Anarchy in the arena? That's the question. Who are they going to have for Anarchy in the arena? Because I would think you would need to have Anarchy in the arena in New York, in Queens, New York. And you're not far from New York City. But we're back live with AEW Dynamite. Coming to you from Portland, we have Will Ospreay taking on Mark Davis one-on-one. Obviously, we have that creeped on Callis at ringside. But like I said, Mark Davis has been holding on to his own, being a solo star, especially with the fact, too, taking advantage of the opportunity with Kyle Fletcher being injured, his tag team partner Jake Doyle being injured, and Josh Alexander being injured. He's really stepping up to the plate on his own. Because it's like him, Andrade, Archer, and with the fact too, Hechicero is the reigning CMLL World's Heavyweight Champion. Ooh, Ospreay, that's a nice move by Ospreay. I will say, with all that bandage on his neck and arm, Will Ospreay, it looked like he can go a bit. Yeah, it looks like an action figure. That's funny. I'm very curious on who Chris Jericho is going to get as partners for the man. I'm very curious. Ospreay's going for Hidden Blade, but Mark Davis with the counter. Oh man, it looks like, well, Ospreay, you could tell by his neck. Oh man, that was a nasty clothesline Mark Davis did. Oh man, oh, to Mark. Quick kick out by Will Ospreay. It's gonna be very interesting on who's gonna participate in Anarchy in the arena this year. It's gonna be very interesting. Because I could see any of the ladies, but for the men, outside of like Mox versus Ospreay, like the Death Riders versus Ospreay, it's gonna be very hard. Outside of those two, I can't think of anybody else from the men's side who would be in it, and that's the beauty part about it. Quick kick out by Mark Davis. That's why I said in my bold predictions, and I started saying this last year, Will Ospreay will be AEW World Heavyweight Champion at Allin Wembley Stadium. And I've been saying that for the last couple months, even last year. Will Ospreay's throwing punches. Mark Davis is throwing punches. Nice counter by Ospreay. Ooh, that was a nasty kick to the face. He wants to end this thing. Mark Davis caught him. Oh, man. Targeting the back of the neck. Oh, that was a nice move that Mark Davis did. Quick kick out by Ospreay. It's hard to believe and it's hard to believe we're at 9 o'clock. We're in the final hour of AEW Dynamite. We'll protect the neck. Yeah, you gotta protect that neck, especially if he wants to be AEW World Champion by summer. Gotta make sure you're 100% healthy, sir. Oh man. Both men are lying on the floor. But 1, 2, quick kick out by Mark Davis. Oh my God. And the fans are really rallying behind Will Ospreay. Referee checking in to see how his neck's doing, but Will Ospreay was like, no, I want to finish this match, and trying to go for the blade. That was a hard-hitting clothesline Mark Davis did. I'm not going to lie. That was hard hitting. And yes, Jeff Metterling, this has been a really good match. And I'm saying, Mark Davis has been showing it. Oh, man. The pile driver he put on Ospreay last week. Feet on the ropes. And I really thought that was done because, oh, Lordy. What is Don Callis doing? Can you get him out of here? And now he's whining and complaining. Don't you talk back to the referee. Because you're lucky the referee. Sit your ball. Yeah, exactly, Jeffrey. I agree. Sit your ball behind Mr. Peanut. Creep butt down. You're whining and complaining. Mark Davis wants to put a pile driver on. Oh my God. No way. Is Mark Davis really? Oh, he just did a pile driver. Man. And he went after the neck too. What's Don Callis doing? Oh boy, man. Will Ospreay. Oh man, look, Dr. Sampson's coming out. Referees coming out, checking out Will Ospreay. That neck. Yeah, go sit back down, you creep. It's going to be very interesting. I don't think he's going to stay home. And it's going to be an interesting route to Double or Nothing. So like I said, even in the Hona Heart Cup men's, I mean, I give courageous and gutsy and resilience. Well, actually, I will say this. There is another person on AEW that does resilience and gutsy, and that is Darby Allin. Oh, man. So Dr. Sampson. So I guess winner by a count out is Mark Davis. So yeah, Mark. Wow, man. I mean, he got counted out. Jeez. Well, Dr. Sampson did stop it, Boza, but the referee, he did stop it, but the referee was still counting 10. So winner by a count out is Mark Davis. Wow. Yeah. Don Callis is jumping on his feet. Oh boy. Get that creep out of here. I don't have to see him for the rest of the night. And, oh man, it looks like Mark Davis is not done with Will Ospreay. He really wants to put him in shambles. Yeah. All good, Boza. I mean, he really wants to destroy Will Ospreay. And I'm not trying to be funny about it. I'm like, he really wants to destroy him. And he put the same pile driver on to Darby and him. Oh boy. Marina? What's Marina Shafir doing here? Because we did see her last week. And there's John. What's Moxley doing here? Moxley doesn't like Will Ospreay. He doesn't like Ospreay. Well, where's the rest of the Death Riders? What are the rest of the Death Riders doing? Because you would think they would be happy with destroying Will Ospreay. You would think. I mean, I understand. They want to destroy Will Ospreay. They want to be the ones to do it. That's why I have a feeling if it's going to be Anarchy for the men's, it'll probably be Will Ospreay and the Death Riders. Why are they dragging Will Ospreay? I mean, I understand they want to beat him up or anything. I mean, they want to end Will Ospreay, but what are they taking him? And then backing off Dr. Sampson? Jeez. They're taking Will Ospreay to the back. I don't know where they're dragging him to, but I'm pretty sure I don't know where the Death Riders are taking Will Ospreay, but I'm pretty sure my gal Alex Windsor is not going to be happy that her man got kidnapped by the Death Riders. Oh boy. Well, that's going to be interesting, but Samoa Joe is making his return tonight on Dynamite. Who's it going to be? I have no idea. Who's it going to be. I know. Dragging him to the club. Jeffrey, don't say that. Yes. I hope my gal Alex Windsor is watching. Because I know her and Jamie Hayter, they got some issues with Tekla and the Triangle of Madness, but she got to defend her man. But Samoa Joe is coming up next. Who's he going to face? I have no idea. Well, you should have listened to me, Courtney. Stay home. Well, Will Ospreay's too hard-headed. He's too hard-headed. I know. It's going to be very interesting on what Alex is going to do. Because I feel like if it's going to be Anarchy in the arena for the men's side, I'll probably be United Empire versus the Death Riders. I blame Alex for letting, but it's not her fault. You can't blame that on my gal Alex Windsor. No. You can't blame that on her. You can't blame that on Alex. I'm just saying. You can't blame that on her. I refuse that you blame it on my gal Alex Windsor. Oh boy. Versus Double Nothing just got interesting. They live in the same. Oh, Jeffrey, come on! You can't blame Al. I mean, yes, they're getting married. Well, they're getting married in June, so they got a wedding. Very curious who Samoa Joe is going to face. Oh, and speaking of Alex Windsor! And they're talking about what happened last week, so let my gal speak. Oh, Persephone, the CMLL Women's Champion, is in the building. Yeah, it's going to be Persephone and Alex Windsor taking on the Triangle of Madness. Yes, what Persephone said. What she said. But I love it. I love it because even though Jamie isn't there tonight, I still believe Jamie Hayter's going to beat the shit out of Tekla at Double or Nothing. And also, Jeff Metterling, it's funny you mentioned who my favorite women's wrestlers of AEW, because if you've been following me on WWT, obviously, of course, you know, the woman that got me into AEW, Timeless Toni Storm, obviously Toni Storm, and then, of course, Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor, the Brawling Birds. I mean, I love those girls. I mean, obviously, Willow and Harley and Statlander, I love, and Shida, but the Brawling Birds and Toni Storm, they have a special place in my heart. That's why I gotta root for them and then support them. I don't say clients because I like to say I'm an advocate for them. I gotta support them, along with Bowens and Caster and Orange Cassidy. But Samoa Joe is back. Welcome back, Samoa Joe. Like I said, I'm gonna be very curious on what's gonna happen with the ops, because Hook has to give an answer to Anthony if he's in or he's out. So it's going to be very interesting this weekend. Well, Jeff Betterling Willow is one of my favorites, but I love Willow. Like, she's great. But Toni Storm is one of the reasons I got into AEW even way before she was Timeless, because I got to meet Toni, and this was after, oh, and it's official, Tekla and Sky Blue, taking on Persephone, the reigning CMLL Women's World Champion, and Alex Windsor, who was the reigning New Japan Strong Women's Champion. But I love Willow Nightingale. She's great. I love her. But Toni's the reason I got into AEW, because I met her after she got released from WWE. I met her at a meet and greet in Philly, and she had no one in her line. So I went over to Toni. We chatted for a bit. I gave her a hug, and then we left. And a few days later, she was on AEW. So Toni, it's nice to see her have the opportunity. Jamie Hayter has been somebody I've been following for a while, and she's a person that definitely deserves to be AEW Women's Champion again. Of course, she's had many setbacks with visa and injuries. And plus, she needs somebody in her corner. She needs someone in her corner to be in her corner to remind her how good she is. And I do love Alex Windsor as well. And this is like way before she met Will Ospreay. Like, she's been making her rounds in the UK and everything else. Welcome back, Samoa Joe. Because I'm watching this, I'm going back and forth. Welcome back, Samoa Joe. And yes, as Boza mentioned, Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor is happening next month in Maryland. Fortunately, I will not be going to that event because that falls on the weekend of 80s Wrestling Con in New Jersey. So we do have some matches in there. Nigel McGuinness will be back in the ring. Bandino will be defending the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title against Blake Christian. We're also going to have a Super Back challenge for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship match. Persephone is part of that, along with Athena, Billy Starks, and also Deonna Purrazzo will be defending the Ring of Honor Pure Women's Championship against Diamante. So we have there's just a lot of good solid matches for Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. But your winner is Samoa Joe. Happy to see Samoa Joe back. Very curious what's going to happen with the ops. And especially we'll find out if Anthony Bowens is in or out of the ops this weekend. It's going to be very interesting to pay attention to. But welcome back, Samoa Joe. Happy to see you back. And look, there's Hook standing right outside. Yep, Hook and Samoa Joe reunite. But up next is our main event. And look, they have a montage in which Darby came into AEW. The early years of AEW. It's funny they showed like the early years of AEW. It's like they were like little babies. Then he paired off with Sting. I'm not gonna lie, there are moments where AEW showed video montages, and this is actually a pretty rad montage of Darby. I know, a Darby montage. That's why I said he's Evil Knievel Jr. He's Evil Knievel Jr. Oh my God, doing all these crazy things. But also he's doing skateboarding. And it's funny, when he won the title, he was doing his media rounds on socials. If you ever saw his socials, it is hilarious. And also he was at a concert where he was part of the mosh pit. And obviously, of course, Mount Everest. Yes. The glass spot I don't think anybody will get. Or when he went through a fire table. A table that went on fire. I do like this montage. I'm not going to lie. It's just showing now. Well, and also with the fact, too, Jeff Merling, you did say that. He's actually doing the initiative. He did an initiative. Actually, he's doing one right now with Tony Hawk, because when he was at a Walking Boot, him and Tony Hawk were planning to open a skate park. And we think in Georgia they were going to do that. But yeah, him and Tony Hawk were doing something. But you can't be that way with Tony freaking Hawk. I mean, but that's Darby for you. That is Darby. That was a cool montage. I'm not gonna lie. Still crazy. Jeffrey, I know. I mean, hey, he's the champion. He's the face of AEW. But it's kind of crazy. He is a popular favorite, even way before he was champion. So it's hard to believe it's our main event. But since we're on a commercial break, we're gonna have our times to stretch, get your beverages, get everything settled, because right after this, we're just going to go straight into the main event. No commercial breaks. And it'll be a shocker if they end on time. Obviously, of course, because NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are happening. So take this time to get your beverages, get everything else, because we will be back here shortly. I made it just back in time for the main event. Darby Allin, Tommaso Ciampa for the AEW World Title. And the man is a younger Jeff Hardy. Oh, Chris Jericho. That'd be funny if he had Brian Keith and Big Bill. That'd be hilarious. Oh, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. Well, as MVP said, it's all business. It's just business, guys. It's business. That's what MVP said. It's all business. And plus, I'm pretty sure them two wouldn't be beating the crap out of Ricochet. He loves money. He wants business. So it looks like Jericho and the Hurt Syndicate taking on the Demand. Oh my God. And it's crazy at that time, the Hurt Syndicate's looking for a fourth partner. I think it is a good choice, Jeff Metterling, for business because Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin have history with Ricochet. So I think it would be really good. And it's just business. Yes. And then also that, who's going to be the fourth person to join the Hurt Syndicate? It's going to be very interesting how this is going to pan out. But right now we have the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Darby Allin. There's the belt. There's Darby. Look at all the signs. He's a man that means business. Look at the fans. And you know what's crazy? He's been a fan favorite from day one since AEW's been here from the beginning. Like, he's been there. And he's a fan favorite. Him, Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega. Well, let's hear what the new AEW World Champion has to say. They're saying and as he should. He deserves it. He deserves this. No, we need Orange Cassidy to be champion. And I'll be happy. He does. Look at the plates. Because he's from the Pacific Northwest. So it's like Portland, Everett, Seattle, all in the Pacific Northwest. Mm. Gotta give credit to mom and dad. Oh my God. You got his Beyonce on a bus? That's funny. Oh, Lordy. He can't go away for 1 minute. I thought he left. Jeez. He really is putting Crash out. He called him a pipsqueak. He called him a pipsqueak. Oh, man. He's like, no. He ain't giving you no rematch. You gotta go through Ciampa first. That is very true. And that's what you want. You want a workhorse champion, and he can be that workhorse champion. He said, get out of here. Let Tommaso Ciampa have his work. And plus, it feels like 2 months. I know, right? It's crazy. But here comes the Psycho Killer. It's going to be a good match, though, between Ciampa and Darby. But I think that's what you want in a workhorse champion. And that's Darby Allin. He'll be the workhorse. Here he comes, Tommaso Ciampa. Look at MJF. You think Ciampa really cares? He's lucky. He gave him a peck on the cheek. You think MJF care? You think not MJF? You think Ciampa really cares? He's like, I want my match. And Max should know better. And plus, with the fact too, you're going up against Kevin Knight next week for the TNT Championship. It's gonna be very interesting with Double or Nothing, and also, as I mentioned, the Owen Hart Cup Men and Women's Tournament. It's gonna be very interesting because I said this last week. Ciampa, Brody, Will Ospreay, because I do see Will Ospreay being champion, and also Swerve Strickland, because I could see Darby and Swerve going back because they know each other so well within that Pacific Northwest. Don't be greedy. Yeah, I know. Don't be greedy, MJF. Well, actually, he only cares about himself, so he wants to be greedy. But here we go. Ciampa, Darby for the AEW World Heavyweight title. Feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got winning. You have Darby retaining. You have Ciampa winning. Where do you think this is going to end shenanigans? But I'm picking Darby. I'm picking Darby to retain because I do see him being a workhorse champion. We want. Don't worry, Jeff. Sting was there last week, but I'm pretty sure Sting will be around. He'll be around. Coffin drop onto Ciampa. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say this. It's funny when Darby in his speech talked about his mom and dad and his fiance that he met while he was getting hit by a bus. That's pretty funny. But, you know, yes, yes, that is true. But I will say his fiance is a lucky girl to be married to him, because I'm sure she has the patience and everything else, thinking, oh, he's used to putting his body on the line. Yeah, Jeffrey. Darby and John Moxley are immune to pain. They're used to it in a way. Them two are so used to it. All right, so Foul Play with Anthony Davis is a brand new show on Mondays on TBS, and also with the fact too, it's pranking all the sports athlete celebrities. So we see Tara Lipinski, we see Draymond Green, and we also are going to see Darby and Sting appear on that show. So I'm sure we'll keep us. I know exactly. I want to know where did the Death Riders take Will Ospreay? And I'm happy they didn't mention it to Alex Windsor, because I'm pretty sure with Alex, she knows her man will find a way. And I'm sure he has some backup in his hands. So I think Alex Windsor is not. I would say she is concerned, but not too concerned. That's my Alex Windsor, and she's a Brit. Well, Jeff Metterling, we don't know who's going to be in the tournament yet because they didn't make an announcement, but I'm sure they'll probably make an announcement soon, right before Double or Nothing. But I know it's happening. We just don't know when. She has to be like, Mr. Hey, for her to be Mrs. Darby Allin, she has to have a patience of a saint. And with the fact, too, he also does skateboarding. And I was watching on socials. Oh, what's Ciampa doing? Yo! Oh my God. That has to hurt. The frame of the ring. That has to hurt on the metal part. It hurt to bite Darby's ear. That has to hurt. Just see the replay of it. But we're back live with AEW Dynamite. We have a AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. Tommaso Ciampa taking on Darby Allin. Psycho Killer taking on Evil Knievel Jr. Oh, man. Ooh, that has to hurt with Ciampa. What's Darby doing? He just tore the top of the ring post? What's he doing? What is Darby doing? Oh, my God. Crossbody onto the announcer's desk through a table. Those two. Well, there goes both Ciampa and Darby. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys saw on AEW social, but they have this little cartoon where they talked about Darby Allin. I know they have a connection with Adult Swim because I think they're doing like a series. That would be really cool and interesting if they did a cartoon series about Darby Allin and his journey being World Heavyweight Champion. And they do the cartoon series while he's champion and just do it in cartoon form. That would be pretty funny. I think that would be pretty funny. Because if we're not going to get Conglomeration Boulevard as a web series, why not get Darby Allin in an Adult Swim cartoon? Oh my God. Ciampa is busted open. He is busted open. Darby Allin going through the ropes. All right, so we have a trios match. Jericho and the Hurt Syndicate taking on the Demand for AEW Collision. Darby Allin, God bless your little heart, sir. Oh my God, Ciampa's busted open. Man. Oh man. Not a great job. And he's not the one bleeding. Right? He's not the one bleeding. And it's crazy because like whenever Mox or him are in matches, usually it's Moxley or him that be the first to bleed. But thank God that's not the case. But next week, we now know the TNT Championship will be on the line next week. Kevin Knight versus MJF. And I would think that would be the main event for next week, which That makes sense. But so far, that's the only match we have set for next week on Dynamite. Nice counter by Darby Allin. Tommaso Ciampa taking off one of the turnbuckles. Man, Ciampa is busted open. No pun intended, but he is really busted open. What's Darby doing? Oh, and I love that they posted on social. It says blood, sweat, and tears. Darby. What's Darby doing here? Oh man, Ciampa. Yeah, I know, right? That would be so awesome. Man, Ciampa is really busted open. I'm not gonna lie. It's woo. Oh my god. Bo Ciampa and Darby. You knew, I kind of knew these guys were gonna go out on a whim. Ooh, it looks like his bottom side. I know, right? Darby, you just knocked out like a light. Like, wow. I will say this is for Darby's first title defense. This is a really good match for him. And I'm also looking on socials too. Checking. Oh man. But you're joining with me for AEW Dynamite Timeless Elite Wednesday because this is we've had a very wacky and bloodied main event. Darby Allin, Tommaso Ciampa for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. And it's only $9.49. And see, I hate to say this, but I think they should do NHL and NBA games more often after Dynamite. So at least they learn not to do overruns as much. But yeah, this is our main event. It's $9.49. Crazy. And I will say, the flow of tonight's show has been very solid. It has been super solid. I would say match of the night for me, it would have to be Mina Shirakawa taking out Hikaru Shida. That was like match of the night for me. And Shida getting that victory. That was so good. I love to see Mina, but it was nice to see Shida get the victory. And Chris Statlander saying, "You're better than that" to Mina. And man, Chris Statlander was being a good tag team partner. That was like the best match for me. Shida and Mina. Sleeper match of the night for me was Mark Davis and Will Ospreay. Mark Davis is really starting to come on his own as a single star. But very interesting, the entire Death Riders took Will Ospreay to the back. Yeah, it's interesting. All the Death Riders took Will Ospreay. I don't know. We shall see. But I'm looking at the picture. Both of these guys, it's like both of these guys are just both of these guys are giving themselves too much violence. My God. I know, right? Thankfully. Oh my God. Thankfully. And we're back live with AEW Dynamite. We're our main event for the AEW World Heavyweight title. Tommaso Ciampa taking on Darby Allin, the new champion. It's a good thing. It's a good thing this is not a double taping tonight. Because I know they have had to clean that up, clean the blood up. Well, actually, I just realized they do have to do a double taping tonight. I just realized it because this weekend, as I mentioned, is the NFL draft. So Mr. Bossman has to be there for the NFL draft this weekend. Oh my God, look at Ciampa's face, all covered in blood. My goodness. Oh my goodness. What's Ciampa doing here? Ooh, nice move, nice counter by Darby. Nice counter. It looks like yeah, that was a nice counter Darby did. If you see the replay a few minutes ago. It's all about the journey, as people will say. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish. Darby! He just has that resilience. That's what I love about Darby. Code Red. Quick kick out by Ciampa. It could be. Yeah, they got to put the gloves on. Safety purposes. Oh my God, Ciampa's putting that submission hold on. Nice kick out. No way. Two. Quick kick out by Darby. Oh my God. Quick kick out by Darby. 9:55. You got 5 minutes left. 9:55. I will say this has been a good match so far for the main event. They're saying fight forever, but I don't think they can fight forever. And I just realized there is a double taping because after this, they got to tape Collision. Because as I mentioned, NFL. Oh, man. Darby. He put the submission on. Is Ciampa going to tap? Is he going to tap? Is Darby? Is he going to tap? Is he going to tap? Man, dude. I don't think he can. You got to tap, sir. I should just yell and say, tap, tap, tap. Look at Darby's trying to hold on to that submission. He's like, you're not going anywhere. Look at, oh my God. Oh my God. Darby's not letting go of the. And that's it. Winner by submission. Darby Allin is still your champion. And he's going to continue being that workhorse champion. Because there are many battles that I want to see him do. And give that man some. I mean, I know Darby's done media in the past. Because he's one of the top guys in AEW. But give Darby some time to do some mainstream stuff. Of course, he does skateboarding. He does the skateboarding. I know they're doing a series with Adult Swim. Congratulations to Darby Allin retaining the AEW World Heavyweight title. And as I mentioned, you know, Bosa, I never really thought of interviewing Darby, but I think that would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool to interview him just to get his feel for it. It was definitely a good match. It was a good match. They put on a banger. I want to see Darby Allin continue being a workhorse champion, as he said, but I think Darby's in La La Land. Like, he's in La La Land. He can't believe that he's champion. But it was a good match between these two. I know, but I'm really happy. And Darby's putting out his hand. Handshake. Sign of respect between these two. And he's the rightful champ. But that's definitely showing great respect to Ciampa. Definitely showing a lot of respect. But Darby Allin is your champ. Is your champ. Like I said, I want Darby Allin. I know Darby Allin's done media, but I want to see him like take it to the next level. Do like skateboarding and definitely Adult Swim series. It needs to do that. And look who comes out. His old nemesis, Brody King. His old nemesis. It's kind of crazy. Like, they were one of the few rivalries in the early years of AEW. So, Darby, Brody. Yeah, next week, we're going to have Darby versus Brody for the AEW World title. I think with Darby, he knows what he has to do. He knows what it has to do being the top person in the AEW World Heavyweight title. But now we know we have two big matches ahead next week. I'm sure we're going to probably have more matches on yeah, I would think so. They're probably going to save it for Double or Nothing because we do have two matches for a Double or Nothing. the AEW International title and the AEW Tag Team titles. But that concludes AEW Dynamite, and it ended on time. Ended on time at 10 o'clock. Well, obviously hockey, but maybe they should do hockey and basketball more often and learn how to end on time. But that's a whole conversation. But that wraps up AEW Dynamite from Portland, Oregon. Definitely a solid show all around. Darby and Tommaso really tore the house down in that match. Very curious what the Death Riders are going to do with Will Ospreay because they carried him back. We shall see what happens. We also do have Anarchy in the arena. Very curious on who's going to do Anarchy in the arena. We need more for AEW. I know, right? We need more competition for AEW to end. And they did end on time. Yeah, we need more hockey and basketball for them to end on time. But that wraps up Timeless Elite Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. We had some very interesting things. We got some matches for Collision. I'm sure during Collision, we'll probably have more matches added to AEW Double or Nothing in the coming weeks. But yeah, we got 2 matches added for next week. Kevin Knight, MJF for the TNT Championship. We have Brody King, Darby Allin taking off for the AEW World Heavyweight title. 2 former rivals that know each other very, very well. But it was definitely a solid show all around. Definitely, obviously, match of the night. I would have said the main event. I did say, well, actually, I have 2 matches of the night. The first one, Mina versus Hikaru Shida. That was a good match. Ladies definitely did what it's supposed to do. And obviously, the main event, Darby Allin versus Tommaso Ciampa. That was a really good match. Sleeper match of the night for me was Mark Davis versus Will Ospreay. I was very happy to see Mark Davis come out of being a single star because with the fact his tag team partner Jake Doyle is injured, Josh Alexander is injured, Kyle Fletcher is injured. So it's nice to see Mark Davis get some shine and opportunity. And I love it. But yeah, that wraps up Dynamite, and we're on the road to Double or Nothing. You guys know where to find me on socials. I'm at CourtneyNJ11 on Twitter and Instagram. Got a lot of stuff happening in the coming weeks, but as I said, Detective is on the case on who. I know, Jeffrey, we didn't get to see the face of TBS, but we got to see the reigning CMLL Women's World Champion Persephone. So you will see her on Collision this weekend, where she's teaming up with my gal Alex Windsor to take on Tekla and Sky Blue this weekend. So you do not want to miss it. But that wraps up for me. You guys know where to find me. Make sure to follow ISPW Wrestling because I will be back on the call next Friday for our Golden Ticket Rumble. Make sure to check out Vicious Vicky. She did an interview with our boss lady, which is up on WWT's YouTube's channel right now. It's a really good interview and happy that I got to watch it. But as I said, Detective Courtney's on the case on who attacked Timeless Tony Storm. And it'll be a fun series to have. But shout out to everybody in the WWT team because a few of us were on the ground in Vegas over the weekend. A lot of us will definitely be doing that. That's probably all the time. Jeffrey, well, you know what? You'll be watching it Saturday this weekend. But that wraps up AEW Dynamite with me. You know where to find me on my socials. Make sure to follow ISPW Wrestling. Make sure to support the Women's Wrestling Archive. Also, friendly reminder, since I will be wrapping up here, Boss Lady and Christina, they will be doing a watch along on Hulk Hogan's documentary that's out on Netflix. So you do not want to miss it. And thank you all for joining and supporting Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.